Good morning, Chairman Gray, members of the Council. My name is Judith Sandalow. I'm the Executive Director of the Children's Law Center and a resident of the district. I'm testifying today on behalf of the Children's Law Center, which is the largest legal services organization in the district and the only one that covers a full spectrum of children's legal issues. Every year we represent 1,200 children in the district, focusing on children who are abused and neglected and children with special education and health care needs. The majority of the children we represent are enrolled in the District of Columbia Public Schools. I'll focus my testimony today on DCPS's special education program. DCPS is making it a priority to ensure that the district's children with special needs are educated in the same schools and classrooms as their non-disabled peers. We definitely appreciate DCPS's rejection of the outdated practice of unnecessarily separating students with disabilities from the general education population. However, I'm testifying today because I'm concerned that DCPS is placing students with disabilities in neighborhood schools before the resources to serve them are in place. My concern is that children are being placed in a less restrictive environment without the sufficient support, and that experience is based on my colleagues' work with the school system over the past year. I'd like to describe the experience of one of our students. We represent Maria, an elementary school student with learning disabilities and ADD, whose neighborhood school only provides special education in an inclusion environment and can only provide Maria with up to 10 hours per week of special education. This is not enough support for her. Because of her disability, she's not able to focus on in a classroom that has 25 other students, where the general education teacher instructs the other students at the same time as the special education teacher is trying to work with her. The bottom line is that Maria has not made any academic progress this year. In order to learn, she needs to be placed in a classroom with fewer students and a lower student-teacher ratio, but the DC Public Schools has refused to move her. She has already repeated one grade in elementary school, and because of her disability, which is going unaddressed, will likely have to repeat another. To provide children like Maria with a meaningful education, there just must be more resources placed in neighborhood schools. While developing a strong public special education program will require significant resources, all evidence suggests that it will be much less costly in the long run than the current practices of enrolling thousands of DC students in non-public schools, especially, as you know, Chairman Gray, factoring in the costs of transportation and the litigation that often leads to such placements. Also key to the success of increased inclusion is effective transition planning and implementation. We have repeatedly found that DCPS has been moving students from non-public or residential placements abruptly and without a viable transportation plan. My written testimony details the experiences of 2 students for whom that poor transition planning caused serious problems in their lives. But perhaps the most important thing I can talk about is the Bazelon Center for Mental Health's analysis of transition planning for students. Bazelon analyzed data provided by DCPS regarding the students that DCPS has transitioned back to the community. Of the 53 children transitioned out of non-public placements, only 2 were enrolled in DC public schools. The others became incarcerated, enrolled in other non-public schools, entered residential treatment, or simply cannot be accounted for by the DC public schools. Similarly, Bazelon found that many of the children returning from residential treatment centers were incarcerated, returned to residential treatment, or simply just not accounted for by DCPS. Given the challenges still to be met in providing special education in a less restrictive environment and in effectively transitioning children back to the community, I am concerned about the implication of another decision by DCPS, which is to close the Jackie Robinson Center, a DC placement for children with severe emotional disabilities. That placement provided a robust array of therapeutic services, but to my knowledge, no other DC public school provides comparable services. Some of the students at Jackie Robinson will likely be moved to the Hamilton-Moten Academy, but that school does not provide the same level of mental health services and does not have enough open seats to serve most of the students from Jackie Robinson. Furthermore, I'm concerned that DCPS may be planning to close Hamilton-Moten at the end of 2010-2011 school year, leaving many students without any viable public placement. In conclusion, I just want to say that I strongly support DCPS's goal of educating students in the least restrictive environment to the extent appropriate, but I'm concerned that DCPS's focus on this goal is leading to moving students into less restrictive environments before developing the programs and supports that will allow them to learn. To prevent the lost educational opportunities that such moves would cause, I urge the Council to work with DCPS first on developing a robust continuum of public placements for children with special needs, and then to develop proper transition plans as we move children back from the non-public placements. Thank you for this opportunity to testify.
Thank you very much,